Welcome to August 16th LeetCode Challenge, Arrange Sum Query, Immutable. Given an integer array nums, handle multiple queries of the following type. Calculate the sum of elements of nums between indices left and right inclusive, or left is less than or equal to right. Implement the numArray class. NumArray function initializes the object of the integer array nums. SumRange returns the sum of the elements of nums between indices left and right inclusive. Alright, so given this example, we call our numArray function, class as to say, and we give it the following array, nums. And we want to find the sum range between 0 to 2. Right? 0 to 2 is the index value, so if we take that, it would be 1, because negative 1 plus 0 plus 3 will be equal to 1. Let's say we want to take the sum range between index 2 and 5. That would be 3 plus negative 5 plus 2 plus negative 1, which equals to negative 1. Right? If we take the range sum between index 0 all the way to index 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that means the sum of the entire range, we get negative 3. That's pretty much it for this one. Let's see, constraints being the length of nums between 1 to that number, indexes between that to that number. Alright, awesome. So the trick to this is basically to use prefix sum, which is how I would go about solving this problem. So for this, this is a typical class building type of question. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually assign num to be using prefix sum. So let's call it presum, I guess. Self.prefix. Yeah, call it pre. And I'm going to assign that to be nums. This is going to be passed by a pointer. And then we're going to run a for loop here for each index in the range. For I in range length of nums, I'm going to minus 1 because the index starts at 0. I am going to update the prefix. I'm going to call it prefix. Makes it a little easier to the prefix sum. I'm going to increment that at the index I plus 1. I'm going to be incrementing that with, you guessed it, the prefix sum at I, self.prefix at I. So that's pretty much for our constructor. This is basically big of n times, right? And then next thing I'm going to do is for the sum range. So this is where we're going to have to find our pointers, use our pointers here. So if left is equal to 0, then we want to return self.prefix sum of the right. So that means that if left is equal to 0, that means we just take the prefix sum of everything to the right of it. Alright, and then we also need to do something else to it. We also need to return self.prefix sum of right minus left. Prefix self.prefix left. Just make sure to keep the indices on the right track here. Left minus 1. Alright, let's see if this works. Okay, let's run it. Okay, accepted. Awesome. So, time complexity for our constructor is big O of n. The time complexity for our range sum range is constant time, yeah. And it's also constant space as well. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this. Let's see what else I should go over. I should have described this earlier, but so basically we do a query of the sum range without updating the values on nums, and immutable is immutable, right? We don't want to change it. So just pre-calculate the prefix sum of the number arrays, where the prefix at index I, so sum from nums is index 0 all the way to I. So the result would be sum range of left to right. So if left is equal to 0, then return the prefix sum of the right index. Else, return the prefix sum of the right minus prefix sum of the left minus 1. And that's pretty much it. Have yourself a great day, guys.